At any rate, they are not new to Mr. St. Ram, who is the moving spirit and the leading light of your mandal. But I go further and say that I wrote this part of my address not merely because I felt it desirable to do so. I wrote it because I thought that it was absolutely necessary to complete the argument. I am amazed to read that you characterize the portion of the speech to which your committee objects as irrelevant and off the point. You will allow me to say that I am a lawyer and I know the rules of relevancy as well as any member of your committee. I most emphatically maintain that the portion objected to is not only most relevant but is also important. It is in that part of the address that I have discussed the ways and means of breaking up the caste system. It may be that the conclusion I have arrived at as to the best method of destroying caste is startling and painful. You are entitled to say that my analysis is wrong. But you cannot say that in an address which deals with the problem of caste, it is not open to me to discuss how caste can be destroyed. Your other complaint relates to the length of the address. I have pleaded guilty to the charge in the address itself. But who is really responsible for this? I fear you have come rather late on the scene. Otherwise, you would have known that originally I had planned to write a short address for my own convenience, as I had neither the time nor the energy to engage myself in the preparation of an elaborate thesis. It was the mandal who asked me to deal with the subject exhaustively, and it was the mandal which sent down to me a list of questions relating to the caste system, and asked me to answer them in the body of my address, as they were questions which were often raised in the controversy between the mandal and its opponents, and which the mandal found difficult to answer satisfactorily. It was in trying to meet the wishes of the mandal in this respect that the address has grown to the length to which it has. In view of what I have said, I am sure you will agree that the fault respecting length of the address is not mine. I did not expect that your mandal would be so upset because I have spoken of the destruction of Hindu religion. I thought it was only fools who were afraid of words. But lest there should be any misapprehension in the minds of the people, I have taken great pains to explain what I mean by religion and destruction of religion. I am sure that nobody on reading my address could possibly misunderstand me. That your mandal should have taken a fright at mere words as destruction of religion, etc. Notwithstanding the explanation that accompanies, them does not raise the mandal in my estimation. One cannot have any respect or regard for men who take the position of the reformer, and then refuse even to see the logical consequences of that position, let alone following them out in action. You will agree that I have never accepted to be limited in any way in the preparation of my address, and the question as to what the address should or should not contain was never even discussed between myself and the mandal. I had always taken for granted that I was free to express in the address such views as I held on the subject. Indeed, until you came to Bombay on the 9th April, the mandal did not know what sort of an address I was preparing. It was when you came to Bombay that I voluntarily told you that I had no desire to use your platform from which to advocate my views regarding change of religion by the depressed classes. I think I have scrupulously kept that promise in the preparation of the address. Beyond a passing reference of an indirect character where I say that I am sorry I will not be here, etc. I have said nothing about the subject in my address. When I see you object even to such a passing and so indirect a reference, I feel bound to ask, did you think that in agreeing to preside over your conference, I would be agreeing to suspend or to give up my views regarding change of faith by the depressed classes? If you did think so, I must tell you that I am in no way responsible for such a mistake on your part. If any of you had even hinted to me that in exchange for the honor you were doing me by electing as president, I was to abjure my faith in my program of conversion, I would have told you in quite plain terms that I cared more for my faith than for any honor from you. After your letter of the 14th, this letter of yours comes as a surprise to me. I am sure that anyone who reads them will feel the same. I cannot account for this sudden volte-face on the part of the reception committee. There is no difference in substance between the rough draft which was before the committee when you wrote your letter of the 14th and the final draft on which the decision of the committee communicated to me in your letter under reply was taken. You cannot point out a single new idea in the final draft which is not contained in the earlier draft.